My girlfriend invited her ex to my place, and I'm furious right now. I live in a big city in my own apartment. My girlfriend, Lily, lives with her roommates, but if I'm being honest, she basically lives over here 80% of the time. Early yesterday, while I was at the gym with my friend Mike, she texted me that she had an old friend she hasn't seen in a while that's in town, and that it would be nice to have a quiet place to catch up. I said they could use my apartment, and that I'd go out for dinner with Mike so they'd have time to catch up. During this time, I'm at the gym, so I was in a rush. I didn't ask who she was inviting over, etc. Well, apparently I should have. As the old friend she was apparently catching up with alone in my apartment was her ex-boyfriend, Kyle. Around 30 minutes after this conversation, I get a text from her saying they're at the apartment. I just said bet and continued with my friend. Mike and I finished our workout around 7 p.m. and decided we'd go to Whole Foods, as their hot salad bars have some great food. We ate there and finished around 8:30-ish. I'm on my way home now, and honestly, I wasn't expecting anything other than just saying hi and heading to bed. It had been a long day, and I was just ready to get to sleep. I arrived home around 9 p.m., and at this point I had no idea if her friend was still over or not. I was secretly hoping they weren't, as I didn't feel like socializing at all. But hey, I'll take one for the team. When I walked in the apartment, I saw some big Timberland boots that obviously belonged to a man. I immediately thought, her friend brought her boyfriend, I'm going to have to stay up and socialize now. I took off my shoes and jacket and started heading down the hallway. As I entered the living area, I saw my girlfriend sitting on the couch with a man, at separate ends, but staring right at each other, talking. My girlfriend noticed me and jumped a little. I didn't really find this odd at the time, but now, thinking back on it, it makes sense. At this point, I'm still completely oblivious. I said hello and started walking towards the man. I'm looking around the house at this point for her friend, honestly just thinking she was in the bathroom or something. I shook the guy's hand and said something like, "Hey, I'm Lily's boyfriend." He replied back in a cocky way with something like, "I'm Kyle, Lily's ex." I was like, "Oh, my fault. I thought you were a friend's boyfriend." Then it got a little quiet, and I rapidly came to the realization that my girlfriend had been alone with her ex in my apartment for the last couple of hours. I looked at my girl and said, "So, I'm taking this as your old friend?" She said, "Yeah," in a soft voice. At this point, I wasn't letting myself jump to any conclusions, but I was tired and didn't feel like socializing. I'm also now upset that my girl was just chilling with her ex in my apartment. It got quiet again, and these two made zero effort to continue whatever conversation they were having just moments ago. Lily asked how my day was, and I was like, it was fine, I guess, again getting the vibe that I was interrupting something. At this point, I'm fed up. Only a minute or so had passed since my question to her, and I looked at him and asked, "Kyle, hey, do you mind ending it here for today? I actually got some things I need to talk to Lily about." He said something like, "She invited me over though, and we're still reminiscing on the good old days." I looked at Lily, she couldn't even look me in the eyes. I looked back at Kyle and said, "All right, let me rephrase that. This is my apartment, and I'm telling you to leave." He then looked at her and said, "Do you want me to leave?" At this point, and I'm not proud of it, I completely lost my cool saying, "What the F do you mean by that? I don't give a f if she wants you to leave or not. I'm telling you to get the f out of my house." Lily was telling me to calm down and turned to tell him he needed to leave. Kyle got up and headed towards the hallway to get his things. I followed, and he ended up leaving. I came back, and Lily was now pissed at me, saying I embarrassed her. "I embarrassed you?" I asked. She then went on about how my reaction was totally uncalled for as she told me he was coming over. I was like, "No, Lily, you said an old friend was coming over, a friend. Not once did you mention this friend was a male, much less your ex." She then said my reaction was over the top and that I acted like an ass. I told her, "You were with your ex in my apartment. Do you not understand how much of a red flag that comes across as?" I then asked why they were meeting in the first place, and she told me he's going through rough times and needed someone to lean on, and that she just wanted to be there for him as he's a nice person, and that by hanging with him in my apartment, it shows nothing shady is going on. I explained how that's ridiculous, and that if my ex started having issues and I was the one comforting her, she would be pissed. She was like, "No, she'd understand because she has empathy." I was like, "That's BS, Lily. You got pissed at me at the gym because I smiled when a girl complimented my form when lifting." She then was like, "She's done talking," and stormed out. I didn't say anything. I didn't chase her. I haven't reached out. I just sat on the couch and thought about what just happened. I then called my father, who gave me some great advice. She then texted me 2 hours ago. Can we talk? I'm sorry for not telling you it was my ex that I was inviting over. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Nothing happened, nothing is going to happen. I love you. He messaged me out of the blue, he needed someone to talk to. I didn't think that much of it. I'm sorry for deceiving you. That sounds like BS, right? I didn't think much of it. Followed by sorry for deceiving you? Like obviously you did think about it, or you would have been truthful. I wanted to talk to him at your place, because I didn't want you to assume something else was going on. Please talk to me. I love you. Obviously if she sees this, she'll know I'm talking about us, but she doesn't use Reddit. I haven't responded yet. I'm leaning towards wanting to break things up with her after talking about all this with my pops, not for her talking to him, but for how I felt in the moment it all was happening. It's a huge red flag for me that she said old friend instead of ex. I still don't get it. In the moment of me getting visibly upset with her ex, she didn't take my side once. When I was nice before I even recognized him, it felt like I was the odd man out. I just felt like she doesn't respect me. Not on some 1950s the woman has to respect the man BS, but if the roles were reversed and I was with my ex at her house, I would have backed my girl when she was getting mad. I would have called my ex out for talking cocky to my girl, etc. I'm still very pissed, so I don't think I should be talking to her right now. It's currently around 3 a.m., and honestly, I'm just tired. I don't even know if I'm pissed anymore. Update, this is long, and I doubt you actually want to read it all, sorry. I just poured my thoughts into it. It's currently around 7 p.m. while writing this. And honestly, the last 13-ish hours I've been up have been draining, to say the least. I awoke in the morning to my phone going absolutely nuts with notifications from Reddit. I'm honestly like, oh, why the actual F did I decide to pour my personal thoughts out into a Reddit post? I began to scroll through y'all's comments, and to say I was shocked is an understatement. Literally, almost all of y'all are actively taking my side. And I mean, I was just scrolling this morning, looking for that one comment that was taking hers. It did not come. What surprised me the most were the number of women in this thread that said they would never do this to their man, and that it is beyond disrespectful. I mean, those comments hit the hardest this morning, as those were my thoughts exactly. Last night was a storm for me, to be honest. I couldn't believe what had just happened. As you all can guess from my post, I live alone, so there wasn't anyone at my crib that I could talk to, so I decided to call the one man that's had my back since day one, my pops. As many have messaged me, and many have commented, I will go into detail on what exactly our phone call entailed. First, I'm going to go back to when it originally happened so that it makes more sense. Also, when reading back my thoughts from last night. It was clear I was rushing at the end and honestly just fed up with everything at that point, so I skipped a lot of details. Okay, to start, Lily had just stormed out of my apartment at this point. When I called her out that she wouldn't be okay with me meeting with my ex because they needed someone to lean on. Like I said before, I didn't call or text her or follow her at this point. I'm furious, and I can't believe what just happened. I took a seat on the couch and tried breathing exercises. I am trying to calm down, but it's no use because I keep remembering Kyle asking, "Do you want me to leave?" to my girlfriend. I didn't really elaborate on this beforehand, but that set me off to another world, and I was absolutely about to lose my S to the max. I just kept telling myself, it's not worth it, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. At this point, all I wanted to do was beat Kyle's ass, and all my methods for calming down were failing. At this point, I just said, F it, and picked up my phone and said, Siri, call old man. I honestly didn't know what I was going to say at this point, but I knew if there was one person who could get through to me, it would be my pops. Now, I don't remember the exact dialogue that went down, but I'm going to try my best to be as accurate as possible. Phone dialing. Dad picks up and says, I've seen it already. Vo dropped 43 on their ass. I started laughing a bit and said, it's not about that, Dad. I just got into a huge fight with Lily. Dad, I'm really pissed. Dad, I don't want to do anything stupid. Whoa, okay. Where are you right now? Are you with her? Are you guys okay? Dad asked. Dash, I'm at the crib right now and she just stormed out. Yes, I am chilling. I just don't know what to do, Dad, I said. There's a long pause after this, and I hear my pops take a deep breath and say, all right, hit me. I began to give him the same rundown I gave you guys in my last post. The whole time, my pops is dead silent, doesn't say a word. I finish up the story and all he asks is, "What does Kyle look like?" I won't lie, this caught me off guard because I was like, "Damn, Dad, why the F does it matter what he looks like?" I responded, "I don't know, he was white with long curly hair, etc. Why?" My dad was like, No, how tall was he?" At this point, I'm like, "WTF, Dad, IDK, 5 feet 9 inches max?" My dad laughs a bit and says, "Explains the Timberlands then. The male equivalent of heels." I didn't realize it yesterday, but what my pops was doing was what he always does. I literally can't stay pissed if I laugh, and my dad can make me laugh on demand. I started laughing and was like, you're right. He then was like, "How much do you think he weighed?" I had to think for a minute, but I was like, him? Maybe $150-ish. My pops then brought up the argument between Kyle and me. "You said Lily told Kyle to leave after you started to get mad, right?" "Yeah," I responded. My dad pauses for a long time again and takes another deep breath. "Your name? I wouldn't be surprised if this situation is a lot deeper than it seems. It speaks volumes to me that she only rallied for him to leave after you began to get really upset. Your name, you are 6 feet 0 inches and 190 pounds, and were just disrespected in your own house by a man you do not know. When a woman cares for someone, the last thing she wants is for him to be in harm's way. She understood exactly what was going to happen if the situation continued to escalate, and she chose to get out of harm's way, followed by switching all the blame to you and leaving. Honestly, son, where do you think she's at right now?" I didn't say anything. I knew what he was implying. "I know it hurts, but promise me you won't do anything irrational. She made her decision. There's not much you can do to change it. You've proven your whole life you're one of a kind. Don't lose yourself now over something that will just end up a tiny bump on your roadmap. I mean, seriously, I couldn't be more proud of you, son. You're 22, living on your own in the city, you've got your S together, that's rare, your name. You're rare, your name. The right woman, like your mom was for me," I laughed a little, "will walk into your life when you least expect it. Don't waste your energy, everything happens for a reason, son." I paused for a minute and said, "Thank you, I needed this, Dad." My dad laughed. "Of course, your mom and I are here for you, always." End call. Fast forward back to this morning. I couldn't sleep last night, so this morning was just completely exhausting. Lily was blowing up my phone the whole night, apologizing and begging for my forgiveness. It's around 11 a.m. At this point, I'm completely just over this situation. I still haven't responded to her since she stormed off last night. In my opinion, she made her choice. However, I got a long week ahead of me and can't have this continue to impact me this much going forward. I ate something and headed down to my apartment's local gym to just run. On lifting days, I go to a private gym, and on cardio days, I use the apartment's gym. Running is therapeutic for me. Around 1 p.m., I got a phone call, and you guessed it, it was from Lily. No part of me wanted to pick up the phone, but we've been dating for 2.5 years, so I felt obligated. I picked up the phone. "What's up?" I said, to be immediately met with crying. "I'm sorry, your name. I love you to death. Please just talk to me. I shouldn't have left last night." I panicked. "You know I love you, your name." I didn't say anything. "Your name. Please talk to me. This isn't right. Please just talk to your girlfriend." "I'm sorry. I told you nothing happened. I won't ever talk to him again, please. I beg you, can we just talk?" At this point, the realization of my feelings for her started to really kick in. Instead of anger, sorrow, or any emotion, to be honest, I just felt a sense of indifference when she spoke. I responded, "Can you come over around 3? Still crying at this point. "Yes, she said. "Okay," I said, and ended the call. I'm just sitting on the sofa now at this time, just waiting for 3 to roll around, scrolling through the comments on my previous post. Knock, knock, I heard from the hallway. Shortly after, I saw my girlfriend emerge from the mini hallway. She began to start smiling and crying while wiping her tears. Again, I took notice of how I felt at this moment, a sense of indifference, a feeling I don't care about anymore. It really started to hit me, 2.5 years wasted, just like that. The woman who I cared so deeply for just 24 hours before is now in front of me crying, and I don't feel a thing. "Lily, it's over between us," I said. Completely shocked, she barely managed to mutter out, "What?" while still crying. "It's over," I repeated. Your name, No, 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 please, I'm sorry, don't end this between us. I love you to death, she said hysterically now. I won't lie, that last bit hit hard, man. I couldn't mask it anymore. The lid had been broken. Don't end this between us, she said. Lily, I'm sorry, I can't take this anymore. I don't know what impression I gave you over our relationship, but I won't stay in a relationship with a woman who thinks that thing little of me. You made the decision to end this between us when you invited your ex into my apartment behind my back, Lily. That is something I refuse to let slide. Lily, no man is that cocky for no reason. I'm not a fool, Lily. You gave him some type of reassurance to give him the confidence to act like that. You even backed him in front of me. Why the F would I stay with someone who's not going to have my back? Absolutely bawling at this point, Lily said, I'm sorry, your name, I love you, I'm sorry. Y'all can call me whatever you want, but at this point, I just went soft. I didn't have the heart to keep drilling her anymore. She was just breaking down, crying uncontrollably. I just sat down in silence. Your name, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Your name, I love you, only you. I won't ever talk to him again. I promise. Your name, please just give me one more chance, said Lily. I'm completely silent. I mean, there was just a huge pressure on my chest. It felt like my rib cage was going to crack under the pressure. I sat there silently, listening to her crying. I remembered one of my favorite songs. I'd rather have loyalty than love, 'cause love really don't mean jack. See, love is just a feeling. You can love somebody and still stab them in their back. It don't take much to love. You can love somebody just by being attached. See, loyalty is an action. You can love or hate me and still have my back. 21 Savage. I just kept repeating those lyrics in my head over and over and over again. To many, it might seem like she said all the right things, but to me, actions speak louder than words. Last night, she chose to make her decision on us through her actions, and since actions speak louder than words, it really didn't matter what she said. I'm struggling to keep it together at this point. I really did love her. I still do. But I understood this was what's best for me. I wouldn't have been able to trust her again. You can't be in a relationship without trust or loyalty. I lost both from her. As she cried, I looked up and said, Lily, please, it's over. There's no saving this. She looked at me and said, Your name, no, please, just stop. It's over, Lily, I interrupted. Please, just do us both a favor and take your things and leave. Lily, it's over. Please, let's just end it here. She didn't say anything and got up and started grabbing some of her things around the apartment. I grabbed a garbage bag and helped her pack. She left the keys to my apartment on the table and left. This all finished up around 4:30 today. I've just been sitting here trying to process what the hell just happened. Honestly, it all still doesn't feel real. I never intended on posting on Reddit yesterday, but I just needed a place to vent. And since it blew up, I felt like I should update y'all today. It's 7:35 as I finish writing this. I feel numb. The weight of what just went down over the last 24 hours doesn't feel real. To anyone who actually read this long-ass update, thank you. To those who commented on my previous post, thank you. I needed a place to vent last night.